Welcome to Change Starts Here, brought to you by You Are Empowered. I'm Dr. Laverne.
I'm Dr. Mashadi, bringing you real people with real life stories in real time.
They say a dog is a man's best friend. Today, we look how ordinary puppies turn into extraordinary assistance animals. Welcome, Vincent, from the Guide Dog Association.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the invite.
Yeah. It's a very specialized area that you work in.
Yeah.
And
Thanks.
I know you didn't come alone. You're also with your special companion.
Yes, I got Cello.
Yes.
Cello is an autism support dog in training, in advanced stage of training at the moment, yeah.
So Vincent, I hope you're enjoying the tea.
Thank you very much.
Today it's a lemongrass, mint, basil, with a sprinkle of turmeric for flavor.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Nice.
Excellent, and we've brought some vegan doggy treats for
Yes.
the doggies today. We're going to serve them a little bit later on.
He's going to enjoy that.
So, Vincent, a doggy is born
Yes.
at the Guide Dog Association.
Yes.
What's the process?
So the first step is getting a puppy to a home, where we say it's in a puppy raising home. So this is where now individual or volunteer their home to raise a dog for us. So they will take in the puppy for us. We will sponsor the food, the medication, and also have a dedicated staff member that will go to their home to give them training with the puppy, how to do the obedience, socialization, going to shopping malls, and other public spaces. Once that phase is done, then the dog moves on to the next stage of training where it comes to us as trainers. This can happen between a 12-month-old or 14-month-old as well. So once the dog is with us in training, then we start to selectively select which career path the dog will go to, autism support dog, service dog, or guide dog. But today, because we're focusing on autism support dog, my talk will solely based on that. So once we start the basic training of autism support dog, we will look at socializing with kids, do cuddles, teach the dog to wear a special jacket that it will have a special handle where the child will hold on to when they go out for walks. The dog will get to walk in between two people, where now the dog will walk with the parent and the child at the other side. Then we teach the dogs behaviors like anchoring. When they cross the street, we teach the dog to stop before they cross. So this is just for safety for the child, so that the child can learn when we cross the street, we don't just cross, but we need to stop. In an event where the child walk or cross the street without observing, the dog will do a behavior which we'll call anchoring, which is to stand its ground, and that will educate the child not to just go and cross the street. Other behaviors that we'll train is if the child wanders off or might be to the right or away from the parent, then the dog will also do the anchoring behavior as well. We also do behaviors like deep pressure, where if the child needs a dog to come on top and give deep pressure, the dog will do that as well. And we also do fun games like play ball, play in the garden, cuddles, jumping on trampolines and stuff like that, so that they can develop that bond and friendship together between the child and the dog. Yeah.
Okay. I noticed you talked about the deep pressure,
Yes.
and my understanding is that it's a comfort to the child, often when they're depressed or anxious.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit more about how it actually works? What does the dog actually do, and how do they pick up, that this is what the child might need?
So the parent will be the main handler and the main director of what the dog needs to do at particular times. So if the child needs a deep pressure, and it's easier when they feel bonded to the dog and the friendship to the dog, it's not just a deep pressure of something, but it becomes a deep pressure on top of the child, and the child can either cuddle with the dog, play with the ears, because the ears are quite soft. So the child also gets something from it. It's not just we're giving a deep pressure, but it's more we are bonding, we are staying together, those kind of things. So the child will love to pet the dog as well. And the dog will love it because it's just getting all the attention as well. So that's one we do. But the parent will be the one to identify when it's needed and how long will it be needed for and when to do it and when not to do it, yeah.
I can understand. So there's some emotional support in that process
is,
for the
yeah.
child. And I can just think in terms of the autism spectrum, some sensory desensitization,
Yes,
playing with the ears and
Yes,
all
those-
of that.
those
So
kind of
there's
support,
all
yeah.
kinds of wonderful other things that you can learn.
Yes, those kind of support, yes, that's also needed as well, yeah.
Okay, wonderful. And tell me, has there been any challenges where you've maybe placed a dog as an autism support dog or identified a dog as an autism support dog and then you decide to change their career path?
Happened, but not that much. In my career with being guide dogs, I think it might have been once or twice. So we go through a phase which we call matching process. This is where we select a particular dog with a family. So when we get an application from a family that wants an autism support dog, we will go and interview them before they can get a dog. This is where now we will get to understand the lifestyle they live, places where they will go, what they expect the dog to do, and we kind of like get as much information as we can, the amount of work they want to do, those kind of things. And then when we train these dogs, we'll train them the basic that they need. But once the dog is in a stage where we want to match, we now, as Vincent, I will role play that family lifestyle. So I will take the dog to places where they want to go. If the child loves to clap their hands, scream quite a lot, now my training now will be more of that. I'll become that child. So if you come to South African guide dogs and you find Vincent jumping up, screaming, clapping hands, that's me working very hard. So then by so doing that, we prepare the dog so much that it so already know what kind of lifestyle to expect. So then by the time we match the dog to the family, we have given as much exposure as possible to how the lifestyle and where the dog will be going. Those kind of things,
Wonderful.
Yeah.
You've brought Cello for us today.
Yes,
so
yes.
how far is she from being matched to a family?
So Cello is already matched at the moment. We have already contacted the client. They are waiting for Cello. We will be starting the training in the next 2 weeks. So what we prefer to do is to call the client and give them a month time to prepare. This is to prepare also the child so that the dog is coming so that it does not take them by surprise. We also put what we call a storybook for the child as well with a picture of the dog, the name of the dog, who's the trainer that is coming to your home, because this trainer will be there for the next 2 weeks training the client. So it's important for us to prepare the child as well. So we'll send that storybook a month in advance, and then the family will be preparing the child of the dog is coming, the dog it's a yellow lab, but the name is Cello, Cello's 2 years, and the Cello was trained by Vincent, all those kind of things. We put it in a storybook and the family prepare the child before we get there, which makes it easier as well when we get there that the child is expecting and know what's going to happen during the training as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Thank
That's
you.
such a fantastic extended process that you do.
Yeah.
It's really wonderful.
Yes, and I was wondering, following on that, what is the follow-up then? You place the dog, then there's the training of the family. Do you do checkups, as we would with our patients, but wondering how it works with the assistant dog?
Yeah, we do checkups and follow-up. So the first step is when we start the training is 2 weeks. Sometimes it can be 3 weeks depending on the stuff that we need to cover. Every single day the trainer will be going, training the client. We give them the understanding of body language, how to do obedience, feeding, grooming. We give them everything that they need to know about having a dog in their household. Then once we finish the training, we do a monthly follow-up. So every single month we do a follow-up. We do with clients that might be far. We do a telephonical or virtual follow-ups. Then from there, we also visit them every single month. However, on our contract as well, we do request that they go to the vet every 6 months just for a checkup, even if the dog is not sick, for us to get a vet report on how the dog is doing, the weight, and everything that the dog might need. And should they have any issue, we're always available to go and assist them in a given point. Yeah.
And my understanding that is you are supported by donors, right?
Yes.
And the demand on your services, are you able to meet the demand? in this country.
Being the only school that's not only in South Africa but recognized internationally, we are registered with Assistant Dogs internationally. We are also registered with IGDF as well. So being in the only school in South Africa, it can have challenges because everyone wants our services. However, what we do is we open our list, we take X amount of number of applicants, and then we close it for a certain period of time. Then we work through getting all the dogs going out. At the moment, our autism applications is closed, but we are working hard to get it to open. We get as much as 30 to 40 applicants a time, which is quite a lot of applicants, considering that the dog has to still grow for a year, and we can only train in a year. We normally target to train 15 to 16 dogs with families, so we can see if we get applications of 50 people, that's going to take us roughly 2 to 3 years to service everyone. So whenever we interview clients, we tell them, this is a process that can take anything from a year to 2 years at times. Yeah.
I'm interested, what got you into this field?
Interesting. So when I get this question, I tap to the love of dogs to begin with. Straight from high school, I went straight to study animal behavior. I became a qualified animal behaviorist. And then I also did a little bit of training dogs for drug detection and all of that. But that's when I met South African guide dogs, and they were looking for trainers. That was 11 years ago. And then I applied, and then I got the job, and then that's when I started. And now it becomes one was going into for the love of animals, but now we're seeing the help and the assist that these dogs are doing in children's life. It's just amazing.
It's remarkable, and you're doing a brilliant job.
Thank you.
You've just become part of the family after 11 years, so really
you.
remarkable.
Yeah.
And in this moment, I was thinking about, the transformation that you've seen. What story can you share with us that was really the most impactful in your work?
Sure, there's quite a lot.
I know. Okay.
So let me tap on one. So to someone it might look like a small thing, but there was one story where we were out in a shopping mall, and the parent was working with the dog, and she needed to withdraw money from the ATM. And she was like, what do I do in this case? I was like, well, tell the dog to do it and stay here, then you can go to the ATM. And the child by then was like, okay, mom, you can go to the ATM, I'll sit with my dog. And here he is sitting with his dog, petting his dog, and suddenly other kids saw that, and they came to the space of the child and the dog, and they were petting. She was not aware until she turned around and seeing her child interacting with other kids. He was non-verbal at that point, but just the mere fact that all the kids are just sitting and petting a dog, like, I see my child with friends. I see my child having other friends beyond just having an assistant dog. So in a public space where walking and screaming and jumping was going to be judged as a child being naughty or being looked at in another way, but now having a dog next to him, it kind of like attract people to come and say hello and those kind of things, so which was really, really nice to see.
Absolutely remarkable.
Thank you.
Absolutely remarkable. Well, on that point, is there rules in terms of dogs being pet, and what is the do's and the don'ts?
Yeah. So we educate the public not to pet the dogs, because at that particular moment, the dog might be working. The dog is going somewhere. There's a focus, there's a task that needs to be completed. However, from time to time with Autism Support Dogs, because it also becomes a benefit socially for the child when people greet. So instead of someone just to walk past a child, they will come to say hello to Cello, and they will pet Cello, and by petting Cello, they're coming into the space of the child. And parents, what they've started doing, they've started to let the child to answer and be part of the conversation. So the parent, someone might come and say, hello, Cello, and the child will like, hey, this is my dog, Cello. Cello is 2 years old. And by so doing that, it developed the social skills and so on. One funny story that I have heard is, we did the same thing with a child, and this was 6, 7, 8 years ago when we said, okay, your dog's name is Cello, and Cello is 2 years. But even to date, the dog is 10 years, but to him it's forever a 2-year-old.
Oh, that's adorable.
Yeah, stories like that. But it becomes an icebreaker to the family when they're in a public space, when a child goes like, oh, my dog is 2 years old, and you can see this dog is 8-year-old. But it becomes an icebreaker and it's something nice for the public as well to interact with the child with, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If our viewers wants to get involved in supporting you, what are the different ways that they can support you?
There's quite a few and different ways. There's financial need, there's volunteer needs. We always say, come knock to our doors, see what we can offer. We are a non-profit organization, so we're from volunteers that just need to open their home to raise a puppy for us, or becoming a weekend homer to just say, I'm at work during the week, at weekend I'm available, I can have a dog over for the weekend. We do have corporates that can come together, put an activity from fundraising point of view. You can buy stickers. We're going to launch our Wear Your Shade, which is our campaign that we run every single year, that we encourage people to wear their shade in protecting their eyes. So we're going to launch it. Buy the sticker. That sticker will support us the long way. Come give donation. And we also have a car raffle, the way you can win yourself a nice Suzuki Jimny for just as little as 150. You buy a raffle ticket, you enter in a draw, and you can win yourself a Jimny. So this, and also we do have legacy programs as well, where if you have something that you would like to leave behind in your to guide dogs, we also have that programs as well.
Oh, that's wonderful. I want to share that I am a foster parent, weekend foster parent, and it's been so rewarding to be able to share that experience and that tiny little bit of the dog's journey with you guys. And the doggies that come and visit us over the weekend have just been remarkable, and it's wonderful to see where they then end up in their journey when they get placed with the families.
Thank you.
I mean, so well disciplined, quiet, gentle.
Yeah.
I think even I could volunteer.
Please do come. The more the merrier. Please do come. Yeah.
It's wonderful work you're doing.
Thank you very much.
Really, thank you for joining us today.
It's all a pleasure. It's all a pleasure. And thank you for the invite. The more we showcase and talk about what we do, the more we get assistance, and the more we reach more people to assist out there. So thank you for your invite.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, Juliet, and welcome. Thank you for coming. Can you tell us a little bit about why you're here today? Share about your son?
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm here today really to speak about autism, and I have my lovely autism support dog here, Clove, who really assists us in the journey with my son. My son is now 14, and he was diagnosed at the age of 6 with autism and a variety of other symptoms that are due to a chromosomal disorder that he has.
Thank you for sharing that with us. What made you aware, or how did you become aware that Autism Support Dogs exist?
So I think as a parent of an autistic child, you're continuously looking for ways of making their lives easier, ways of finding more independence for them. I actually once saw a billboard around Autism Support Dogs from the Guide Dogs Association, and I obviously memory banked it. And then kind of as the years rolled on, I met a few people, and one of them, he himself had actually a service support dog, and he was telling me how much the dog has changed his life, and I met the dog eventually, and I just decided, my husband and I spoke about it, and we thought it would be a great addition to the family and to really help with my son, from an emotional support side of things. And then we applied, and we didn't know what to expect in the process, but it was obviously a journey we were meant to go on. I really feel that.
Yeah. I'm going to take a moment to ask about the application process now that you've opened the door.
Yes.
Is it stringent?
So we had to fill in quite a few forms, and also my son's diagnosis, the reason we were wanting to apply for an autism support dog. And then we waited for about a year or so before, initially we had the meeting with the Guide Dogs Association of South Africa. They came around, they did a very stringent, background checks and in terms of who was at the house, what sort of environment the dog would be coming into. They were very thorough in understanding all of that. And then we waited for about a year until we got a phone call from Vincent to say that he feels that he's found the right dog for our home and our needs. So, and it can take anything up to 2 years even to find the right dog. But the association is so incredible in how they match the right dog for the right family. And so if you're prepared to wait for the right dog, then it's actually not a hard process at all.
We just had a chat with Vincent about the process of the training and so forth. What happens once that dog has been identified to you? I believe the person comes and stays with you then, with the dog.
So with autism support, the dog needs an adult as its handler. So, the handler can't be the autistic child themselves. So I volunteered or decided that I wanted to be the handler in our family. So I went on quite a long training. It was about a 2 to 3 week training course with Clove. And our trainer was Kabelo, who also works for the Guide Dogs Association. And we met every day. Luckily, I live quite close to the guide dog, so he didn't have to stay with us. But I think in other circumstances that is the scenario. But we met every day. He trained me on commands, on where I can take Clove, where I can't, what I should do in various situations, and just general bonding with her. That she feels comfortable with me, that she feels bonded to me, and that I can kind of take her to various places with my son. So it was quite an intense 2 weeks. I had to make myself available, but once we had gone through that, she seamlessly just kind of adapted to our family, and it was a really simple integration process from there. So you do have to make yourself available, and also decide who the person is that is going to be doing the training in your family.
I'm wondering what the impact has been on your son. The integration seems smooth. What have you seen in terms of benefits, and has he reported anything?
Gosh, so I think it's such a variety of things, some very intangible. Mm-hmm. When Clove came into our lives, there was a very definite need for him to have a friend, an emotional support. He often, autistic children in general often wander. They flit from one thing to the next, and they wander off and can get themselves into danger. They have to be watched all the time. My son in particular. And she really seems to be an anchor. If I go to the shops with him and her, he stays with us. She's got a harness that he holds onto. He loves holding onto it. It gives him a sense of comfort, but also I think a sense of pride. That he gets to walk around with this dog that he loves. So she really has created a sense of calm in our family as well. She's a benefit to all of us, to my other son as well, who's not on the spectrum, but really benefits from having her in the family. To everyone really. We just find her energy and her calmness just a really great energy in the house. So So there are many benefits. A lot of them emotional, and just calming, really. Yeah.
You mentioned going out with your son and
Yes.
Clove. Has there ever been challenges that you've not been let into any buildings or any places where people wouldn't allow her in?
Every now and then, yes, we have come across it. In general, though, I would say 80% of the time, there's no issue at all. But when we do encounter it, I always carry my certificate with us. She always obviously wears her jacket when we're in public. And, then I just try and use it as an opportunity to educate and create awareness, So I try and speak to the person and ask them if they know about support dogs and that she does have a right to be in the place we're in. So I do think it's an opportunity for teaching people and creating more awareness if that isn't the case, if they don't allow us in. Yeah.
I wondered about you, and you have 2 sons and 2 dogs, I gathered from our conversation earlier, and that you have a busy life. How do you juggle all of this? Mainly around the caregiving aspect.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's a recipe or an answer that's kind of a one size fits all. I do think it's important, especially in a household with autism, which is generally quite a complex environment. It's quite chaotic at times. It's very different to any other households. To find support and to find, as a parent, time for yourself, to rejuvenate and re-energize and fill up your own cup, because that's generally the last thing to take priority. And it's just really, it's taking things day by day. And I guess planning for the worst, hoping for the best, are some of the kind of mottos that I've tried to live by. But I think the important thing is just to live in the moment and enjoy the moment, because we don't know what the road ahead is all about. But we've managed so far, so hopefully we can figure out the rest of the way. But yes, it really is to have a good support system around you that includes, friends, family, a safe place, a safe haven, people that understand and that are willing to help you when you need it, and just time for yourself and being very aware of the complexities and challenges that you go through every day, and not brushing over those, because it is really intense at times.
Yeah. So accepting where you're at and
Yes.
self-care.
Absolutely.
Yes.
No, absolutely. As Shadi was saying, Juliet, that you have a pet as well, not just Clove.
Yes.
How did you have the other doggy when Clove came into your lives, and how did that integration happen?
We did. She is a rescue dog. We had her for about 4 years before Clove came into our lives. She is the polar opposite. She's completely wild and completely crazy. And yes, she really is not very well mannered. So if I can put it politely, but she was very anxious. She is an anxious dog. She was very anxious when Clove first came to the house. She's very protective over my children and over her territory. But Cabello was amazing from the Guide Dogs Association, how he integrated the two. He put me at ease. I was very nervous and very anxious, and I think I was half the problem actually. But he came in, and just through socializing them with one another, and just being calm and patient, actually within 2 days there was absolutely no issues at all, and now they're best friends and just run around the garden together. So yes, they absolutely they're very happy.
It's just
both
brilliant
of them.
that you got a bonus process.
No,
there, hey?
exactly.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
You mentioned support system, family, friends. Can you tell us a little bit about the healthcare practitioners or other therapists that have also been part of your support?
Absolutely, and that's such an important and probably the most important part. When my son, there were difficulties right from when he was born. So we knew that we were going to be going on quite a long journey with him. And so we immediately at the age of 4 months old, we started with therapies like physiotherapy and OT, even speech therapy that could help him feed properly. And from then I realized the importance of having that system in place with caregivers and experts in their fields to guide us on what we should be doing, what we can be focusing on, what our goals are for my son, how we're going to get him there. And really our ultimate goal is to get him as independent as possible and to live a purposeful and meaningful life. So whatever we needed to do in order to do that, we try and do. Obviously when he was younger, it was very simple things that perhaps are taken for granted, like being able to roll over or lift your head or sit up or eventually stand and walk. And all those pieces had to be done with a variety of therapists and caregivers, really pushing for him and really giving it their all. So absolutely, it's been the most important aspect. He has a neurologist who's exceptional, and physiotherapist, OT, speech therapy, and all of them work together to obviously reach so that he can reach his full potential. Yeah.
That's lovely.
Wonderful that you have access to the team.
Exactly, 100%, yes. And he's also, he's 14, he's at a school, and he has been at a school, but he's at a school for special needs, which also plays a vital role in understanding him at his level and being able to assist and help him reach his potential. Yeah.
And what happens when he's at school? Does Clove go with him to school?
No, so Clove, she doesn't go with him to school because I always have to be there. I'm the main handler, so I always have to be with Clove and my son. He's not at the point where he'd be able to look after her or take her out to get fed and have water or whatever the case may be. He wouldn't be able to do that. So I always have to be there, but we go to the shops together, we go to markets together, we go to friends' houses together, a whole lot of things she's involved in.
Yeah. And when she's at home, of course,
exactly,
she's there with him and supporting him there.
Yes, she is.
So I wondered also about the socializing aspect and how Clove might have helped your son navigate that. Has there been any benefit from having Clove outside of going shopping with you when you're socializing, for example, with other children or family friends? Is there a way that Clove negotiates those?
So I think immediately having a dog around creates a sense of interest, and children are automatically drawn to dogs. And especially dogs like Clove, who are so calm and inviting. So I think automatically it creates children feel a bit safer, perhaps coming and speaking to my son and being with the dog. So I think it's definitely enabled that. And yes, and I think it's made him, there are times when it makes having her around really settles him and makes him calmer. So that also helps from a socialization point of view with that aspect, yeah.
I was wondering about, in terms of stigma, you might have been experienced yourself or your son along this journey. You spoke about raising awareness. What are the kinds of things that you've experienced our show is also around, raising awareness and
Yes,
combating
absolutely.
stigma. So it's an important aspect.
So I think we're very fortunate. We live in an era where there is a lot of access to information around things like autism. And I think, more often than not, people do understand and they do try and help. What's actually helped is, there isn't, with autism, there aren't physical disabilities, so it's not visible and evident automatically. But actually what I've found, having Clove with her jacket that says Autism Support Dog and my son holding on to her, it suddenly creates this environment where people are more understanding, So we go to somewhere and he has a meltdown, or, he's stimming a lot, or whatever the case may be, and people automatically understand, and they're like, whereas before it was people were almost too scared to ask, or they would shy away, or so in a way, actually having a dog where it states very clearly what her purpose is has helped, for us to not feel so worried about bringing him into certain situations and people not understanding, and ultimately, him not being able to be himself because of the environment he's in. So I think from a stigma, and certainly from what I've encountered, really the majority of people are so kind and so understanding and so willing to help, actually. So yes, I do hope, and even children are actually amazing. I did a talk recently at a school, and I asked the question, what do you think autism is? And immediately about 10 hands shot up, and they all told me what they thought it was, and it was spot on. They just, I think parents are doing an amazing job at raising awareness and helping their kids, just be understanding and inclusive. So yes, we're fortunate to live in this day and age, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's good news.
Yeah, absolutely. It's wonderful that Clove can be a bridge also in
exactly
that
right.
process.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
We'd like to thank you for joining us, and thank you for your time and bringing Clove to us.
Yes.
And in the spirit of Change Starts Here, one of the things we do is mix things up a little bit. So we had asked Vincent what his favorite meal was, and he had said a chicken mayo sandwich. So we are going to serve a tofu mayo sandwich today, since we are trying to be focusing on plant-based meals.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for having me. It's been lovely being here. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you again for joining us, Vincent and Juliet.
My pleasure.
We'd like to share a copy of Lunch with a Dragonfly with you.
Thank you.
And tuck in.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Good choice.
Thanks.
This podcast was made possible with the assistance of Zydus Healthcare.